G'day guys, Morezy here and welcome back to Morezy Plays Minecraft, episode 69. And first up guys, we're playing around with bubble columns. I've been working on some bubble column elevator designs and I want to show you guys a few things that I've discovered which you may or may not already know. And then I also want to get to and make an elevator for our strip mine, which is over there, because at the moment it's just the ladder. I'm getting some of this kelp because we'll need that. And let's go over to the beach here and have a look at these bubble columns. So I want to show a few things that you may or may not already know, and we can show you how you can use these in a little bit of a different way. So the first thing you need to know is when you change the path of the water here, it'll sort of mess up and make it quite messy. And I've seen some really cool examples in earlier versions where you can make a single piece of water that goes all the way up and it's really clean, really tidy, but apparently I don't think you can do that anymore. So I was coming up with different ways on how to achieve a similar sort of look, and this is what I came up with. Okay, so if you didn't already know, water will flow to the nearest hole. You can see over here it's only 2 blocks to the nearest hole as opposed to 3 blocks, so it goes that way. And over here what I've just done is just dug a hole at the back here, and that means the water wants to go that way. And that means we can get sort of a clean looking bubble column, but I want to take it a step further and I'm going to show you how we can do that. So when you set up these bubble columns, it has to be a water source block on top, and it has to continue a water source block all the way up for it to work. What I've done here is just dropped 1 bucket of water at the top here, and as you can see it comes all the way down to the bottom. The problem is none of these blocks here except for the very top one are source blocks. So when I replace that block of sand with soul sand, it won't work. So while it's still in the game, I assume it's going to stay for a little while hopefully, is you can use kelp, and you can actually plant the kelp on top of the block there, and that will create water source blocks. So that one should create water source blocks all the way up, and I can tell that by putting in a bit of soul sand. Sure enough, there's all our bubbles. Okay, so now we've got our bubble column started, I'll show you the next trick, and the next trick allows us to get that nice seamless look, and that's just removing these blocks one at a time, one layer at a time, and hopefully I don't break it. Oh, I just broke it. Let's see if I can rescue this if I put a block back here. Okay, I think this will be okay now. So yeah, try not to break more than sort of 1 row at a time. And the result is this floating water. So this gets us back to the sort of result that we were looking at before. Let me just pick these up. Like this. So it's still like floaty water, and oh, there's a guy snuck up on me. Floaty water, but now it's just too wide instead of 1 single column. But it still works. So that's cool. And yeah, it allows you to have a little bit of a nicer look. Okay, so here's the next configuration, and we've got the 2 blocks side by side and a trench like this where they both flow into. And again, we can do this, get rid of each layer, and end up with floaty water that goes up and down. So that's a 2 by 2, which is pretty useful. Sometimes you might not even bother with the magma, sometimes you'll just drop down, but I just thought I'd show you this anyway. So yeah, we can obviously go up and then we can go down. So that works really well, and this is probably something similar to what we'll end up using over at the strip mine over there. But yeah, I just thought I'd show that because yeah, it makes it look pretty cool, I think. And even if it's just an upwards traveling one, you can get it nice and thin and clean, and it looks pretty tidy. Alright, let's go over and start implementing one of these onto our strip mine. So the mine is just around the corner here. Hopefully we'll get to this zombie spawner today as well. And we just head over here. A skeleton just died. I've also got a few other jobs that I want to try and do, but I don't think I'll get them all done this episode. If I can get this elevator done and perhaps work on that zombie spawner thing, that should be good. So here's our strip mine just over here. It's over at 0, and as you can see, we've just got a ladder going down at the moment. So what I want to do is just head down here and have a look how I've got it set up. So I've got this set up at 2 or 3, I think three different levels. Cool. So we want to dig down either side of this ladder, and this will be where our elevator brings us to. So I'll go up and we'll do that. So I'll come probably down this side and down this side. And once I've got that set up, then we'll look at using the kelp and the buckets to make some water source blocks, and we'll get on from there. Okay, so I've dug a 2 wide trench down here, and that meets up with the bottom of this. I'm going to drop a water bucket here, and then that should allow me to fill that up with kelp. So kelp, let's go kelp. So far so good. Don't drown. We're getting close to the top. We're okay, we're okay. There we go. Awesome, so they should be all water source blocks down there now. Let's see if we can get up here super quick. Yeah, that's fast. Look at that, that's awesome. Okay, so that's getting up. That's great. Going down is a little bit slower. So what we're going to do now is dig another hole that goes down by the side here, and I hope that it will make it so it doesn't spread even further. Cool. So I should be able to just dig this down and it won't do any more spreading. Let's see if this works. Okay, so here we are at the bottom now, and what I'm going to do on this side is just dig one more hole like that. And now what we've actually got there is a little water break for us to fall down into. So let's hope I don't die by doing this. Here we go. There we go. So that's a quick way of getting down and a quick way of getting up. Okay, so here we get to do a little bit of redstone, and before we do that I need to get some quartz and a little bit of experience because I want to enchant an axe while we're here. So I'll break all this quartz up and get some of that going, and then I'm going to go back over and create this entryway for our mineshaft. Okay, here we go. So I want to make a nice way to enter and exit this thing, and we're going to do that now. So I've got a few bits and pieces here. Let's start by putting in some blocks, and actually that's the wrong way around. So we want a block here and one there like this, and then we'll use a sticky piston here and another one here, and then I think, how do we do it? I think it's like this, and then some observers. So I think an observer there, and another one here, and then I think we'll just put a piece of string in front. It's a block here, redstone and redstone. Our first redstone project in the new world. Awesome. String and string. Okay, cool. I think we're nearly there. So I'll block this in a little bit so we can see what it's going to look like. Okay, so this way here is down, this way here is up. If we're at the top and we try to go down the up way, it won't let us. And if we try and go down the down way, There we go. We're good. We fall down. Let's see what happens when we go up here. So we're going up. And there we go. We land on top of the platform. So I think that's a nice little clean way of getting in and out of this thing. Okay guys, so we're back over here at the zombie spawner. And it doesn't look great at the moment, but we can work on that later. But I think I've got it worked out now how I can get these zombies to stop clogging up the system. So I've gone back down and relit this area. So let's pretend we're a zombie and we'll try it out. So we fall down here as per normal. We've got this little bit of water that pushes us up here. This is where it gets interesting. So we head up, and then we've got this little configuration here, which actually makes sure that we're up against this wall here. We don't get stuck on top of the walls anymore because I've got these glass panes, which are actually a different size hitbox. See, I'm actually standing on top of that wall right now. But if I let go of my keyboard, it pushes me around the corner, and then we'll fall down into that hole. But yeah, I think this design turned out pretty good. Obviously now it's a matter of decorating it rather than having this big ugly thing here. I like the idea of making this like a giant hand coming out of the ground. I reckon that would look really cool. There we go, there's a baby. So he's got stuck. So that was a drown. So he must have got stuck, I imagine, right in the bottom there. So that's something to maybe look at, because where they go into the corner, I'm pretty sure he would have got stuck underneath there. So, yeah, that's something I need to probably look at. But other than that, it looks like it's working pretty well. Probably a little bit more tweaking to go. And there we hit our max cap. Okay guys, so fast forward a couple of hours. I got a little hit of inspiration and I worked on the zombie spawner decorations, and I managed to come up with a pretty cool theme, I think. So what we've done is turn that area into a little graveyard, and you can see here I've got the graveyard fence, and we've got some graves over here. And it's not completely finished yet, but some more graves. And the zombie spawner is now a mausoleum. And here they are in here. So I can come in here and I can kill them and collect the XP and the drops and whatever I need. I've also got another gate over here, and they're sort of like swung open. I saw that on Google, and someone had done it, so that looked pretty cool. I'm still not sure if I want to keep these iron fences on here yet. Maybe you guys can let me know. Otherwise, this is the other option, just like this, and you can't jump over these either, by the way. You can if you do this, of course. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I've just got to finish off the back here. I've just completed this wall, and obviously I just want to make this look a little bit tidier in this back corner. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. How did you guys get out? So I made a little chicken farm because I was sick of running out of food. I've got heaps of fish, but then I have to put in the furnace and cook it. Oh wow, they're glitching through the corner. Okay, that's not very good. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hopefully they don't continue to do that. But yeah, I needed some more reliable food sources, so I've got this chicken farm set up, but it looks like they're trying to escape. So let's put a block here, one there. I think it must be going out through the corners. Just a very basic and ugly chicken farm with one piece of cooked chicken in it. Awesome. Alright, so one more thing I want to look at here. We'll probably wrap this episode up, I think, but I want to look at some things for next episode. So there's a couple things that need to happen. Probably one that's, well, two that are very important right now, I think, is going to be some kind of a mob farm, even just a starter one, to get some basic goods like bone meal and gunpowder and stuff like that. The rest of it's pretty useless if you ask me, but gunpowder and bone meal are always handy. Obviously we've got the zombie spawner, so we've got plenty of rotten flesh which we can turn into emeralds, no problem. Over here I've got the fishing shack. I want to probably remake this and make it look a bit cooler. I actually want to make it into like a proper shack, and yeah, a little timber shack, and you go in and use the automatic fisher. I've also dug out underneath here, and this is going to be something of a storage room for the AFK fish farm, because as you know it generates quite a lot of junk and it can clog up very easily. So I want to try and make an underground sort of cellar system here to store all the stuff we get out of the automatic fish farm, and of course it'll all be sorted. And I've been looking into how to do that, but there's a few tricks. I can't sort the books or the bows, I don't think, or the saddles. The fishing rods, I'm pretty much certain I've got enough fishing rods here to last me forever, so I think I'm going to use the fishing rods as fuel in the furnaces, because you can do that. Where is a bad one here? That one will do. So if you put that into the furnace, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it cooks things. So I'll probably use the fishing rods as fuel once I've got a few set up. Like, I really don't need that many, especially once they have mending on them. They don't do anything unless you die with it on or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, getting all this set up for storage. We'll probably run a bunch of chests, a storage system, auto smelter, so we can cook all of the fish. And that way we've got another food source of cooked fish, because raw fish isn't very good. But yeah, that is the idea. One last thing I want to look at will be the iron farm. So we've got to make an iron farm, definitely, because that holds back on a lot of things, especially redstone, like if you don't have enough iron to make a bunch of pistons. So we're going to build an iron farm, and I don't know if I'll get it done next episode, or I might do it the one after. I can definitely start. I have to get my head back around how to do it, but I think we'll end up doing it in the spawn chunks over there in 0, where the strip mine is, and I've got an idea to do some kind of like a temple or something up on top of the hill above it, and we'll have maybe like some kind of monastery or something, like the Iron Monastery or something like that, and we can have villagers up there, and it can just be a cool little decoration theme, I guess. That is the idea. But other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you like the zombie spawner and the graveyard setup, which I'm going to now. I've done a little bit more work here of late, just putting some of this mossy brick down and cracked stone as well, just to give it a little bit more character, which I think it does. So that's really cool. There's more to do yet, but hopefully you like this one. And then, of course, if you like that that elevator system we've got on the mineshaft, let me know, because yeah, I thought that was pretty cool as well. Obviously, that system that we talked about in the start, you could make that floating in midair, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, a nice monastery up on top of that hill. What do you reckon? I reckon it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.